Okay then. Hello. Now, this is day 122 of From Here to Jerusalem, walking from West Cork to Jerusalem with a harp on your back. That's it. That would be me. Oh, and of course, Shani the harp is right there next to me. Okay, so last time I spoke to you guys, I was in Cologne. Well, I wasn't talking, I was playing music in Breslauer Sammlung, or it's a collection of stuff out of Breslau. Breslau used to be part of the old Prussia, Preußen in Dutch, and after the war, that Breslau became part of the Russian Federation. So there's people that, of course, fled from that area in that period, and they had to go somewhere, and they also took a lot of their heritage with them, because all of a sudden they had to speak Russian and Polish and I don't know what, and a lot of people identified very much as Germans. You know what comes to mind? The Irish protocol. I wonder why. Oh no, I'm not doing politics. So anyway, I was there, and the collection includes things like a statue out of the Breslau Church. There were like pieces of clothing, books, letters, seals, all that kind of stuff, bits, bobs, museum. And yeah, I spent a few days. I ended up spending nearly 7 days, 6 days in Cologne, and it was great. It was great. Heaps and heaps of churches, a Black Madonna. There is some leftovers in this amazing thing in the dome. Remember the Three Kings? Three Kings. Yeah, the ones that come with myrrh, gold, and all the other stuff. They're in there. Yeah, they're in an ark behind the altar. And there is and I saw something really weird. Like, there's this guy. You shouldn't judge. I'm trying not to, but there's a guy with looking like a priest with two small children, an American accent. So it definitely wasn't a Roman Catholic priest, because most likely those kids were his. And the girl was really creepily dressed in a red long dress, like one of those dresses that you would buy in a party shop. I would think of those dresses as the dresses to make you look like you're wearing sackcloth and ash, but then in red, like shiny material. And this man is like in front of the ark with the bits from the Three Kings of the Orient came, and he's in tears, and he has those kids on their knees as well, and I'm thinking, creepy. Sorry, shouldn't judge like that. So weird stuff like the Cologne is like, it's got two bits. Like, it's a really modern city, lots of young people, lots of students, great vibe, great party scene. I had a thing called Klettenfeld or Klettenbach, and it was like licorice liqueur. I was like, yay! There was a licorice shop. We went for Korean dinner. There was literally everything. Everything is there. There is really good doner. I had Syrian doner and falafel, and it's a beer country, so there's beer everywhere. and we had Rattler. The Rattlers are lemony beers. Also very good when it was that hot. So I went to see lots of stuff. We also did a bit of work on the website. Soon was really, really kind. He cleaned up the website. There was all kinds of things clashing in there. And so now next time when I stop, I can have a look at it again. Oh, no. Oh. And then yesterday, really, like, I arrived on a Sunday. And I thought, time to go. Because I'd outstayed the rule, which is like fish and people that come and stay in your house shouldn't be there for longer than 3 days, and I'd been there for 6. So I tiptoed out of the apartment and took a tramway back to the Dome, and from the Dome started walking. And then I met Ulf and Anja. First time ever to meet somebody with my name. I know, like, how is that even possible? Like, at 53, I should have met somebody with my name a long time ago, but I didn't. But I did yesterday. And Anja and Wolf, I noticed them as I was coming from the back of the cathedral. I'd seen like, they had some kind of concert at the Pietosbuna. It's like this, it's this water thing with St. Peter on top of it with his keys. And I went to say hello, of course, because St. Peter, and I know him. We've met before in Rome, and I followed him all the way to Rome. So, and I saw that the guys who had put up the stages, they were Dutch. So I couldn't help myself. I walked by the van and I went like, "Oh, that was a long ride." It's silly. And they were like, "Oh no, it wasn't that long. We came from here." So that was the first thing. And then I crossed the road and I saw 2 people walking, and they had the Korean thing going on, like this thing that Sarah told me about, like the couple clothing. So both of them in the same color, green pants, green t-shirts, backpacks on. I'm thinking, surely they're pilgrims or they're hikers, whatever. So I go like, "Es ist schönes Grün, dass sie da haben, da zusammen." And turns out they are pilgrims, but they had the bright idea, like myself, to start walking on Sunday morning, and we were heading the same way. They were also going to, first up out of Cologne whistling. Now, I'm on my way to Bingen. I made up my mind how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to Bingen. I'll follow the left side of the Rhine, which is also a St. Jacob's Way. And then I'll cross the Rhine and I'll go to Frankfurt. I nearly wanted to go to Worms, because really, if you're going to go to Bingen and see Hildegard's stuff, then you should go on to Worms, which was the most holy moly place of Germany of altogether. I am so impressed with the amount of holy relics and stuff in Germany. It's crazy. And whatever art is left over from the wreckage of the Second World War is honestly stunning, stunning, stunning. So here we've got these 2 people, Ulf and Anja, and they're in green, and we chat away, and of course they go like, "Oh my God, no way, Harp." And you're heading the same way. And I said to them, we came to St. Severin. Now, who knew that this great traveler was, who wrote Tim Severin, that he's actually named after a German, uh, a German holy person. Now, we don't know much about Saint Severin. The thing that he is known for was that he was a righteous man. But the Severin cult is quite big, and the Severin church is right on the old wall of where Cologne ends. So I went to see that as well. And we got stamps in the St. Severin Church, or I got a stamp in St. Severin Church, and then I went on and I decided to go for a cup of coffee, and I ended up at this place, Echo, and they had like brunch going on for the whole of Sunday, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to stuff my face with brunch because it's going to be warm. And what I want is, I just want to have coffee, really. So I had a coffee and orange juice, and then I paid, and it was the most expensive coffee and orange juice that I have had uh, since leaving the Netherlands. So I was a little bit disgusted with Echo. It was 7.20, like, and the coffee wasn't very big, and the orange juice was nothing special. It just came out of pack. 7.20. Like, okay, that's got to stop as well. I also made the decision that I was going to focus more on the playing. Like, I've gone through the roar. I've done my excuse thing of I can't be sleeping outside because there's so many chemical plants, and I've had my little fear thing going on. So I promised myself I wouldn't do that anymore. I would just go back to my old pilgrim ways, which is Sean the Harp job is to get me beds. Like, that's just the way it is. So back to the hustle, I suppose. And so talk away to Ulf and Anja. They go on. I have my coffee and Echo, and then I go on as well. And it's actually a lovely walk back to the Rhine, and then along the Rhine bank. And it's like they have this big wall that they have for 28 kilometers installed along the Rhine there to help with flooding and stuff. Like, Cologne hasn't gotten flooded in a long time, but of course up the Rhine last year there was a really big flood, and it was severe. And I'm looking out of the Rhine, and I have to say it's pretty low. Like, if I understand this right, anything where you can see just stones where there's no growth, that's where the Rhine normally is. And there isn't, like, the Rhine is a big, big river. It's big, but it's really, really low. And there's so much traffic on it. I've said enough about chemical plants and stuff. Oh, guess who are also really well represented there just after Cologne? Shell. Yeah. Oh, it made my Dutch heart like go like, ooh, really? That is just, you know, if we're gonna be so uppity about who's greener and who does better business and stuff, that's really, it's bad form, to be honest. Um, yeah, I've said my words on. I mean, there's only one way in which you can have chemical plants that close to like one of the biggest rivers in Europe, and that has to be some form of corruption or lobbying. Like, there is no other explanation, and it's dire, and it shouldn't be happening. Like, it's really disappointing to see. And I've had a few chats with people about it, and they all go like, "Yeah, there isn't much that we can do in democracy." Yeah, democracy. Yeah. So I was talking to a solicitor there today, and he was saying the same thing. Yes, Germany officially is a democracy, but when it comes to lobbyists and comes to the Rhine, it's pretty sad. So let me put it out there. I don't agree. I think it should change. I think that if you have a political structure, you should create a sense of that you want to be responsible for everybody, and that you want to do good, not just win votes. Your job is to solve problems, not to create more. And at this moment in time, when it comes to the lower part of the Rhine, they're creating problems. In time, it cannot go right, and I'm pretty sure that they're already, doing stuff. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So walking up the Rhine now, it was okay. It was okay. Like, you're walking out of a city. What do we expect? You hope to get into the greenery sooner rather than later. But the riverbank was really nice, and I had dropped those pins of things that I wanted to see, and then I thought, yeah, but where am I going to play? Like, and because I'd left later than I had anticipated, I didn't want to play at the places where I wanted to play. And then when we passed by St. Albans, I wasn't alone, and so I didn't play there either. And I'm thinking, I'm in trouble. So in about an hour and a half, and lo and behold, who are coming out of a little side street, Ulf and Anja. And they said, do you mind if we walk up with you a little bit further? Because we're just fascinated. I'm going like, of course you can come. That's no problem. It's part of what we do. And we walked the hard bit, which was past the shell thing. Now, the issue is not so much that, all these industries are taking place, although you could argue for that as well, but I won't do that. The issue is that they do business between the Rhine and the industrial sections over public roads. That is what I would view like as an issue. And of course, there is a case to be made, as in Switzerland was the case, like Lac Le Mans, the Lake of Geneva. The entire coast of Lac Le Mans belongs to the Swiss people. And you can see that there's a lot of people that want to recreate on the Rhine banks. People love the Rhine. They think it's beautiful, even with all the traffic that's on it. And they're just in awe of the Rhine. And I saw a songbook today, which is just about the Rhine. So they really think it's stunningly beautiful. And when you're not in the industrial parts, I would have to agree. It is really, really pretty. Would you let anything swim in it? No, I wouldn't. But why would you allow, Anyway, so we'll go back to not talking about this. We walk up together, we're talking away, and then they go, do you know where you're going to sleep tonight? I said, no, I don't. Do you know where you're going to sleep tomorrow? No, I don't. We come to Westling, and I said, do you know what? I know you guys are going to go, so I would like to play you some music, and I also need a beer. I need vitamin B, and I'd like to play some music. And so first we go up to the church, because they had gone back to St. Severin to get a stamp. And we go to the church, no stamp to be found. Nice church. Then we go outside and we find a diaconn, Paul was his name, and he did know where the stamp was, or he couldn't find the stamp. They went looking, and then the priest came, and he was telling the priest about what we were doing, and they were telling about me, and I was talking about them. And then we did find like little stickers for in our pilgrim's passport. And then, of course, the big question, Diaconn Paul, would you be able to tell me, is there anywhere where I can stay? And he said, you can go to the Concord House, to the hospital, and you can ask for Sister Clementine, and she might be able to put you up. Thank you very much. Go away. They were having some kind of party. It was great. They had like a humpapa band, and there were all these. We saw this old guy in one of the little scooters, and he had like his little basket, and then in front, he's scooting around. Yes, and he's happily going along the road. So we're looking for a terrace, and for somewhere where I can sit and play. So we get Sean the harp out. We have a beer, and then there's a guy who comes and sits, and another guy comes and sits, and another guy comes and sits, and after 30 minutes or so, it wasn't very long. The guy who was sitting on the ground, he was like crying. I gave him a big hug. I said, it's okay. And he's going, hello. Okay, I'm going to get back to you guys after this, because I have to go meet my host. And I'll tell you the rest of the story. Talk to you later. Hello.